or how we can get.
They haven't got a banner on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that must
but
be.
somehow it's come back out.
حمایتت میکنیم. شنیدم میخواستین جاپاده